as you're standing here, go ahead and line yourself up. So I say this almost every class. I'll say feel your ears over your shoulders over your hips over your knees over your ankles. And the reason this is so important is because if you are not in alignment, the rest of the practice won't be in alignment. So get your best mountain pose. Drop into your breath, inhaling and exhaling. I breathe in, I breathe out. And go ahead and notice the breath. And then see if you can deepen and lengthen each inhale and each exhale. And bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the heart center. And as you inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And exhale back. Inhale up. And exhale. And go one more time. Inhale. And last time, exhale. And then bring your hands to the fronts of your legs and bend your knees, let your sits bones come back. And we're gonna slide down and up. So keep the upper back flat and long. Try not to let it round forward. And instead, bend the knees and let your sits bones come way back, as if you're tipping the pelvis towards the thighs, down and up. And go one more time like this. And then come back up to standing. And if you have a yoga block, go ahead and get one yoga block. And take the block and place it between your legs, so this way, between your legs like this, and come back into mountain pose and hug that block and press into the feet and lengthen the spine. And notice how that shifts your connection to the earth. And if you don't have a yoga block, just think about pressing into the feet, activating the arches, so that you're activating what we call apana vayu, which is the energy that goes from the navel down through the feet and connects to the earth. Now, bring your hands to the heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And now exhale, draw the hands down the midline. And then inhale, back up. And exhale to the heart center 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down the midline. Inhale up. And exhale. Last time like this. And then bring your hands low on your hips. And we're simply going to come in and out of Utkatasana, or powerful pose. And so you want to bend the knees, let the sits bones come back. And feel these thigh muscles working, these quadriceps. And then press into the feet and come back up. So even though I've been practicing yoga for a long time, I love using the block for this. Because what the block does is it corrects any little misalignment you have in your legs in this pose, and it allows you to get into the body that correct alignment without having to think about it. And one more time like that, down and up. So if you don't have a yoga block, I really do suggest that you get one. You can order them on Amazon. There are also some like yoga accessories and so on where you can purchase them. They're about $10 a piece. Now, on your next inhale, bring the arms down and up. And as you exhale now, bring the hands down the midline, coming into Utkatasana, and then inhale as you press back up, and exhale to the heart center. Keep going like this, inhaling up. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale up. And exhale. And one more time, inhale. One more time, exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. And then just bring your hands down and come back to that position where you're activating Apana Vayu, where you feel your energy going from the navel down through the feet. And the Yoga Sutras, they talk about 5 Vayus. So let's talk about an upward moving Vayu, or wind, or way of moving energy. So bring your hands to the heart center right here. And now inhale, sweep the arms up. And as the arms come up, lift. So lengthen the front and the back of the neck. And then exhale the hands down the midline. Inhale, hugging the block, engage the root like the pit of the belly, look up and exhale down. Can you feel? This would actually be a prana vayu because you're feeling the energy. This is Udana here lifting up, and this is prana vayu here coming down. Inhale from the diaphragm up, and exhale down into the head. Keep going. And if you can't feel the vayus, just imagine it to be so. Just pretend that that's a thing. You don't have to really believe it. You can just imagine it. And then come back to your mountain pose and come back to your breath. And notice if you feel your energy more balanced in your body. So we grounded with Apana Vayu, and then we uplifted with Udana and Prana Vayu. We lifted up. This is up and out, Udana, and then Prana Vayu is down into the head. So come off the block if you're on it. And come back to mountain pose, and let's just get a sense of Dhyana Vayu, which is the circulating energy in our body. And just bring your right arm out to the side, and as you inhale, bring the arm across and up, and exhale down. And then the left arm, inhale and exhale. So what's interesting to me about a yoga practice, a mindful yoga practice, is that you can change your energy based on how you move in your body. And so just notice that, and they've done research studies of having people standing in different postures and then going in for job interviews and how well they did in those job interviews based on how powerful the posture was. Not even a yoga pose, but just a posture. Go one more time, each arm. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And again, stand and just notice what your energy is. Try not to judge or evaluate, or you don't really want to think real hard about it. You just want to feel it. Now, bring your hands low on your hips and with your body, recreate that sensation of having the block to stabilize and ground you. And we're just going to come in and out of some slow, mindful, half forward folds. So you're engaging the belly, you're lengthening the spine. And the first thing you want to wire up is the engagement of the root lock, called Mula Bandha in yoga, and the muscles of the belly, called Uddiyana Bandha. And you want to activate as you come off the vertical axis and hold. And then when you get back to the vertical axis of your spine, you release. And then engage the root lock, the pit of the belly as you come forward. You hold, and maybe even a little harder as you come up, and then release. So just keep going. And this idea of activating that core strength as you hinge forward and lift up protects the spine, so that you're using your muscles to lift in a way that will make you stronger and that will not erode your spine. Now, as you continue, you can begin to come a little further forward, still keeping the spine long, and you'll start to feel the pull or the stretch in the muscles in the backs of the legs, called the hamstrings. And you want to pay attention to the signals your body is giving, and you do not want to force it. You want to go right to that first edge where you feel the pull and then back away. So, you know, the 10th time you do this, you might go deeper than the second or third time as the tissue begins to get warm and also get more fluid pumped into it. Go one more time, hinging forward and lifting up, and stand in mountain pose and breathe. So now, notice your low back. Is your low back just a little bit achy, which is fairly common? And get back on your yoga block. And if you don't have a yoga block, again, press into the feet and hug the muscle to the bone as if you did have a yoga block. And then I want you to lift up on the root lock. So the muscles of the pelvic floor, you want the sense of lift from the pelvic floor and the sense of pulling the navel in, and inhale and hold that and exhale. So holding Mula Bandha, the root lock, and the pit of the belly, and inhale and exhale a few times. And then on your next exhale, release, release any tension on the block, release the bandhas, and take a breath or two. And just notice if your low back has responded to that, and may or may not. And we'll do that again. Hug the block, lift up on the root lock, draw the navel in, and then the slow inhale and exhale. You'll feel some resistance because Uddiyana Bandha is engaged, but you just want to allow all that to exist in your body at the same time, the resistance of the bandhas and the breath. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release. Now, go ahead and get either two yoga blocks, 4 yoga blocks if you have them, or a chair if you have it, and bring it to the front of your, towards the front of your mat. And we're gonna just practice some deeper forward folds. So I cannot impress enough upon you how important it is to get up as high as you need to get up so that you're comfortable in your back with this. So even if you're putting your hands on the back of a chair, it just doesn't matter because you want to build this kind of strength of forward folds gradually over time. So go ahead and bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And then inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And then we're going to do some touch and go. So you're going to exhale, hinge forward, and just kind of let yourself melt into the full forward fold. Touch the blocks, and then come back through half forward fold. Come back up to standing and bring your hands to the heart center. So I just want to take a second to explain the difference between half and full forward fold. So this is a half forward fold. 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 And this, where I release my upper back, this is a full forward fold. This is half. And then coming back up. So every time you do a full forward fold, you want to get that half forward fold first, and then release the upper back coming into your full forward fold. If your half forward fold is here or higher, then don't come into a full forward fold because it's going to look like this. And all that's going to do is put stress on the anterior spine. So just stay in a half forward fold. You can just do touch and goes like this and come back up, and you'll be building the strength. We want to build the strength before we build the stretch because we want to create that balance of strength versus stretch in the body. So standing in mountain pose, bringing your hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Swan dive forward, come through your half forward fold, melt into your full forward fold, tap the blocks of the chair, half forward fold all the way up, hands down the middle. Inhale up. Exhale through half to full forward fold. Notice how it feels in your body. Back up through half. Hands to the ceiling and down the middle. Keep going. What you do not want to do in forward folds is use the momentum of the body to swing yourself around. You want to feel the control and the activation of the muscles through the entire flow here. Let's go one more time like this. And then come back to standing in mountain pose. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come to full forward fold and we're going to stay there. So again, remember, if you're using a chair, so I'm just going to get a chair and do this with the chair so you can see what that looks like. So here's the block. If I had 2 blocks, it might look like this. But here's the chair seat. And if you want to use blocks, go ahead. I just want to demonstrate a little higher up. And I only have my chair turned this way so you can see me. So bring your hands to the heart center. And then inhale, sweep the arms down and up. And then as you exhale, swan dive forward, come through half forward fold, stay here and lengthen. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, tip the pelvis towards the thighs. And then if this is as far as you're going to go, stay here. If you want to release all the way down, just bend your elbows. And your hands are just taking some weight of the torso off of the hamstring muscles where they attach on the sits bones. Inhale, come back to that half forward fold. Take a few breaths here. Exhale, keep the knees straight, bend the elbows, tip the pelvis towards the thigh, come as deep into your half forward fold as you're able. And then if you want to release into the full forward fold, do that here. Inhale, come back to half forward fold. Take a few breaths here. And one more time, lengthen. And tipping the pelvis towards the thighs, coming deep into half forward fold, and then releasing into full forward fold. And let's just stay here for a few breaths. And then inhale, come back to half forward fold. And from here, we're going to come up to standing, pressing into the feet, engaging the root lock, the pit of the belly, weight over the feet, lift up, bring the arms up overhead, and bring your hands down the midline. And then bring your arms out to the side and take a few breaths. So now, go ahead and just step your feet out about shoulder distance apart. So you can move your blocks to the side for now. And bring your hands right here. And we're just going to bend and straighten. So when your knees bend here, even though your feet are shoulder distance apart, it's a similar action in the thighs as it was when we did power pose or Utkatasana. So you don't want to let your knees come in like this. You can see how this misalignment is going to erode the knee joints and the ankle joints and the hip joints too. Nor do you want them to come way out over like that. So activate the arches and just think about those knees coming straight forward and straight back. And what this does is it gets the quadricep muscles in the thighs to work in a cooperative way. So they're in balance. So everybody's doing their share of the work. And the joints are supported. The muscles are doing the work, and the joints just add mobility. If you rely on your joints to do the work, then you can cause problems where they start to wear out. Now, the next time you bend both knees, bring your weight onto the right foot, roll on the ball of the left. Slowly make your way back through the center and roll on the ball of the right. So take your time here. And can you feel that Apana Vayu that we talked about earlier? From the navel through the feet, connecting you to the earth, supporting you as you move from side to side. And can you feel this little bit of Vyana Vayu, this circulating energy in your hands, in the upper body? And so you're holding two opposing forces in your body at the same time. And then you can start lifting the toes off the mat and back through center, and lifting and back through center. And you can do this holding on to the back of a chair lightly. You don't really need to grip it tightly. It's just having that kind of that third point of balance that's really helpful. And you can practice this like at a kitchen counter where the counter is usually a good height. And then as you're practicing, you can see, can I take my hands off? Has my balance improved? You'll be surprised how quickly this will improve balance. And the next time both feet are flat on the mat, just stay here. Take a few breaths. And then bring your hands low on your hips, and let's just do a little hip work here. So bring your pelvis forward, over to the right, to the back, and to the left. So we're just going to hula hoop our hips around. And you're really just moving the hip joint over the legs. You just want to feel that, that soothing sort of motion. And our joints produce something called synovial fluid that's lubricating. And that's what we're really doing, is encouraging that. And then also exploring the range of motion in the joint, because you want to keep as much range of motion for as long as is possible, so that you maintain your functional mobility. Go ahead and reverse. So go back and to the right and forward and left. Back, right, forward, and left. So I think about the Wizard of Oz. Remember how the Tin Man did this as he was getting oiled up? And then he started dancing, so we won't dance, but you can think about the Tin Man lubricating all those places. Okay, and then bring that to a close. And go ahead and bring your right leg forward and your left leg back and press into the four corners. So for this, you always want to have your two hip points squared to the short end of the mat for Warrior One. So this is Warrior One facing this way, and Warrior Two is facing this way. So we want to be in a Warrior One position. And we're just going to come in and out of Warrior One 3 times. So bending the right knee, lifting the arms up, and coming back. And inhale as you lift up to Warrior One, and exhale back. One more time like that. You can find a focal point to gaze at gently and back. And then the next time we're going to hold. So, you know those postures that they put people in before a job interview? Make your Warrior One like that. Strong, powerful, competent, calm. And then float your arms down. And you're going to hinge over the right foot and step forward. And just take a couple of breaths. And then we'll do the same thing on the left side. So left foot forward, right foot back. So when you're stepping back into Warrior One, do not step back like your feet are on a tightrope, but step back like your feet are on a little tiny train track. And as a matter of fact, you can line the ankles of the feet up with the tops of the iliac crest or your sits bones back in the back. Just have that sense of the feet being lined up in that way. And then bending the left knee, bringing the arms up. And coming back 2 more times like this. Really pay attention. So the front leg is working just like it did when we did Utkatasana, and also when we did that balance practice. And the back leg is straight and strong. This time we'll stay in warrior one and hold. See if you can recreate that sense of the body being in alignment like we did in Tadasana. And so holding the pose becomes easy because the prana is really doing most of the work. Go ahead and lower the arms, bring your weight over the left foot, push off and come back to mountain pose. A few breaths here, and then go ahead and rock from side to side. So now we're going to do a forward fold with our legs in a warrior one position, and it's called intense side stretch or pyramid pose. So bring your right foot forward and bring your left leg back and press into the four corners and square your hips. Keep the legs straight. So it's a forward fold. So press into the feet, and you're just going to hinge forward and keep pressing your feet into the mat. The arches are active, and lift back up. So the back stays flat in that half forward fold, and you want to feel your entire pelvis. So here, this whole area tips forward and tips back. You're using Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, so those bandhas are engaging and they release right about here. And there's some balance involved in this too. You may feel the hamstrings on the backs of the legs stretching a little bit. And if you feel strong enough, you can begin to come forward a little more. But that's only if your body tells you that's a good idea. If it says, nope, this is enough, listen. Let your body be boss. Listen to the body. One more time, hinging forward. And this time hold for just a couple breaths, not too long, but just hold. Lifting back up. Bending that right knee, stepping forward. And rock from side to side. Now, go ahead and bring your left foot forward and the right foot back. And we'll do this side. Make sure your feet are on like a little narrow train track, not on a tightrope, and your hips are square. And I like to bring my hands to either on my hips or behind the back. That helps me keep the heart open. And tipping the pelvis, engaging the rib block, the belly, and lifting back up. You know, and so this is my first time for this morning on this side. So I can tell I'm not going as deeply as I did towards the end on the other side. Because you want to pay attention. So, you know, yoga has really nothing to do with how it looks. Your yoga practice has nothing to do with what anybody else is doing. Your yoga practice is for you. It's a chance to quiet the mind and let the body be boss. next time we come forward, we'll just hold for a couple of breaths right here. You're going to lift up. And then bend that left knee a little bit, step forward, and rock from side to side. So go ahead and step with your feet about shoulder distance apart and just bring your arms down. Just shake out a little bit. Just shake out. Just kind of let everything release. And then bring your arms down and just inhale, float this right arm up, reaching through the tips of the fingers, but not lifting. You don't want to lift this shoulder like this. You want to release that shoulder down so the neck is long. And then bring that arm down and the other side. Inhale and exhale. Once more each side here. Then go ahead and hinge over. So keep that shoulder alignment. You're just stretching the side bodies and back to center. And as you come over, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly here. Hold and release here. Engage as you inhale. Hold the locks as you exhale. Keep going from side to side. Go one more time each side. And then come back to standing. And bring your feet right underneath your hips. Bend the knees, slide down and up 3 times. And here, we're just trying to release the back body. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Tip your pelvis towards your thighs and back up. And one more time, like that, down and back up. And then I invite you to make your way onto your mat for Shavasana. So you can do your Shavasana sitting up if you'd like. Just make sure your spine is straight and long when you're sitting in the chair. But if you're on the floor, come on down to your back. Bring the hands out and roll the palms up and lengthen the back of the neck and release the back of the head onto either your yoga mat. You might be in the bed, releasing into the bed. You want as few pillows as is necessary, or perhaps